is going on, everyone? It's Johnny here with TraderX, and I wanted to go ahead and just give you guys a breakdown of how my day went today. So today was another green day. I ended up $80, and I did have lots of orders today too, right? I've been trading a lot more these past few days, mostly because I've been seeing more potential, but yeah, I wanted to go ahead and break down three main trades that I took today. So to get started, the first trade I took was on ticker symbol TMC. And the reason why I decided to take a trade on this was I saw it pop up on the top gapper list in the morning, and so it caused this momentum and push it and break above the middle VWAP. And I wanted to wait for a pullback before I ultimately decided to get in because I viewed it to be more overbought right around these levels. So as it pulled back, I got in right around 240, so still a bit of a high price point. I could have waited for it to get closer to the middle VWAP. That's where I went wrong on this trade, but ultimately ended up falling, bouncing, and then over here in this area ultimately tried pushing up again before it got rejected and flushed down. So unfortunately the momentum and volume wasn't there to carry it the way I thought it would. It ultimately ended up doing it the third time when it tried to retest these resistance levels, and once it did break it, it ended up pushing up. So this was like a 30 to 40% move. So it's pretty crazy on the type of momentum that we're seeing on these type of penny stocks, but unfortunately, it just wasn't able to push through right around this area. So after I took a red trade on that, so that one put me down about $54. I decided to take a trade on SQQQs, which is the inverse ETF of the NASDAQ. So pretty much what I viewed was Biden had some type of press conference today, which ended up pushing the market up, and it acted as a positive catalyst, right? So it ended up pushing it up, and I personally viewed the NASDAQ to be overextended at those levels, mostly because, as you can see from the bigger time frames, it's been making these lower highs and lower lows. And so right around these areas, I did decide to take a position on SQQQ, which pretty much pushes up as the NASDAQ sells off. So I got in right around this area, and as it began to sell off, I ended up cutting my trade right around this area because I viewed there to be a potential support on the NASDAQ, and I didn't want to risk it, beginning to push back up. So I did secure my losses there. I'll go ahead and show you that. I mean my profits, my apologies. And so as you can see right around here, so I did buy in right around these levels, so I almost timed it perfectly, right? And so I am grateful for this trade. Pretty much did exactly what I explained to you. So I wasn't in with too big of a position size, only $1,000. That's why, I didn't make the biggest dollar amount. And then the last thing I did want to show you guys was gold, right? So the gold futures, ticker symbol /GC. And so pretty much what I viewed was pretty much the same thing. So gold's been pushing up a lot because of the news of the war happening. It's been driving the price of gold up. So right around this area, I did view gold to be very overbought. And the reason for that is if you take a smaller step back and look at the bigger time frames, gold was a little overextended. It typically tends to hit the top VWAP, and then, it doesn't do a good job of holding. It'll typically sell off. And so as it was up here, it was touching the top VWAP, making it not the best deal. And as we can see, gold, it's been climbing a lot, but it was, in my opinion, overbought at those levels. That's why I decided to do something similar that I did to the NASDAQ and trade the gold based ETFs. And I traded the inverse ETF of gold, which was JDST. So on these bigger time frames, you can see gold's typically been getting rejected right around this area, and when it was up there, it definitely was a little more on the not so good deal, which made me want to get into the inverse ETF JDST. And so I did take a few trades in the morning that I believe ended up losing me a little bit of money, but right around this trade is when gold actually started to sell off. So let me go ahead and show you what I mean. I initially got in right around this area to the inverse ETF, and as it kept pushing up and sold off, I added to my position, and then the trade started going south, right? And I was going to cut my losses if it were to break above this previous resistance, if gold were to, because that would mean my stock, my ETF is going down in price. And ultimately, when it got rejected and fell, I ended up, cutting the position on JDST. So that gold sell-off ended up making me $84 on the day. So I was very happy with that, especially because this trade was red, but ended up going green. And so those were pretty much my trades for the day, put me up $80. And yeah, I do look forward to seeing how I do tomorrow and the rest of the week. Let's hope to keep it green, and I'm just going to make sure to be putting in my best practices. I do hope all of you were or had a green day and are having a green week so far. And if you found any of this useful, please drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already, and maybe share with any traders that you personally know who might find this helpful. So thank you so much, you guys, for tuning in, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.